Welcome to your new favorite podcast, Too Many Men on the Field.
Hey,
Hey, hey!
hey.
All right, week 6. We have our first loss under us. How are
Kurt,
we feeling?
what's
What
that?
happened?
What happened? That was bad. It was bad.
I haven't even told you how unwell I've been this week. Well, I guess I have a little bit, but the depths of how unwell I've been. I think I was experiencing a low-key trauma response. Because I have been refusing to look. I waited until today to look at anything on the app, any notifications, read up on anything. I've just been like, this is it. We blew it. It's gonna happen the
Oh,
same. I'm like, if the same thing is gonna happen as it does every year. I was just devastated. Like
I don't think so. I
devastated.
I understand where you're coming from, but I really
I think
think
it was just a mental thing. That it took me right back. The feeling was the same. Even
I
though it's stupid.
no, I understand. I think it's valid, but it's also I think I saw something like either the day after the game or maybe a couple of days after about like just like on to the next. Like, okay, on to the next one, gotta win the next one and keep our heads up because I think that's the right mindset to be in.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
was just like, man, once the Eagles lost, I was
Mm.
like, shit.
Me too.
I know. I was well, we had like our text exchange about how the Bills were the only undefeated team in the NFL. And then I didn't feel the pinge of or the what
I
I
knew it
didn't
mean to
feel
me
like
then.
my stomach didn't drop when I texted it, but I said it out loud after that, like to my roommates. I was like, guys, like the Bills are the only undefeated team in the NFL. And my stomach dropped immediately after I said it. I was like, I'm gonna regret bragging about this later. Like I just know it. It's,
I was tailgating and it was everyone was like, did the Eagles win? It was like, no. And everyone was just like, they were like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. And I was like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. I did not have a good feeling when the Eagles lost. I was just like,
I was like,
I
we
just,
can't have anything nice. We can't
Yeah.
even have that.
yeah.
I
Kidding me?
will say, I think the only reason that I wasn't depressed all week is because I watched the Chiefs game on Monday night.
Mm.
Chiefs lost.
I couldn't even do that. I
No,
couldn't
it
bring
was
myself to
so
watch.
good. That game, it made me, I was like jumping up and down at the Chiefs' demise. Because
Can we shit talk for a minute or what?
yeah, sure.
What were what were our concerns? Put nicely.
Ugh. I just kept thinking about how last week in our last episode, you had said that you had no criticisms of the offense.
Yeah. I was
And
also
the offense came
scared.
out and they were like, fuck you, Abby, actually.
I'm still not worried yet. Not super worried.
Girl.
No.
So my concerns, I'll show you my notes from last week.
Okay.
Fucking offense, fumbles slash penalties. I didn't write many notes after that because I was just like it was just tally marks on that one.
Ah!
Basically.
I have I have I put holy offense. Thank God defense showed up today. We're eating our words this week because everything we said just went away.
Completely flipped. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think defense showed up. My criticisms are still
At the
heavily of the
time.
defense.
Really?
Yes.
Do share.
So I'm just wondering where everyone is. Like, where was Joey Boza?
Mm.
Greg Rousseau finally showed up a little bit, but it was week 5. Like,
Yeah.
where's Ebenezer? Where's Bernard? Where's Benford? Rap, even like
Yeah.
Taron John, like where, like as a fan, and like someone that didn't play football, the way that I learned, I guess I should say, is through hearing the names. And then you pay attention to it and you watch what happens. And you keep hearing the same name and you're like, oh shit, that guy's pretty good. Like, and it's not always, I think, as like obvious on defense as it is on the offense.
Sure.
So you need to like hear it, see bigger plays to recognize it as someone that learned football in that way, I guess. But maybe that's just my experience. I don't know. And so I'm like, no one's no one's doing anything. Like, there's not a lot happening.
I think I know last week we talked a bit about like, or I talked, I guess, about the like being at the right place but not finishing the tackle. And I feel like I saw less of that this week. So that was one of my criticisms from last week that I feel like has started to trend in the right direction. Um, I know I see what you're saying about like not seeing the big plays and hearing the big names as frequently. But I think this week, more than previous weeks, they made stops when it really counted.
Yeah, they came right out. I remember them coming right out, and that was big.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, one of my notes too, I think the first fumble was Dawson Knox, which that just really pisses me off. But um,
Yeah.
defense got a fumble recovery like literally on the next drive, which was so, that was like so whiplash back and forth. But yeah, I think that they made plays when it counted for sure. And they did their best, but offense just was not handling the ball well enough. And
Yeah,
I think I
I
said to Will the other day, I was like, it's possible, as we've seen, for offense to win the game when the offense is on fire and defense is not, and that's how you get the really high scoring games. It's you can't win a game when defense is on fire and offense is not.
yeah, I can see where my criticisms would have been less harsh if the offense was able to execute off of. I yeah, I'd probably be singing a different tune.
Yeah.
I also take back everything that I said about Trey White. Everything. I said that I love him and that he was like making tackles even though he was old.
Yeah.
He looked old this week. I think we've just been playing shittier teams.
Poor
So,
guy.
and I think I don't know, it is what it is. I think that's what you're gonna get from Trey. He's injured or he was injured previously and is older now and that's what you're gonna get.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think another criticism I have this week, I think we've all been rooting for Keon Coleman's improvement, and I think this week he took a dip in the wrong direction. I think more, I think he dropped more passes than he caught this week. And it was oftentimes like really crucial catches that he was not completing. It looked like Coleman last year this past weekend, which was kind of sad because I thought that he was kind of on the up.
Michaela, do you have anything to say?
Oh, um, I think also on top of Keon too, like they kept trying to have Cook run the ball and that was not working either. And I think might have been a combination of the two, like like can't do a far pass, so because you know they're not gonna catch it, so they have to do the run game, but that's not really working because they're gonna stop that.
And so then they were like, what are we gonna do? What are we
So
gonna
that it both
Oh,
didn't
so
really
let's
work.
have Dawson Knox run the ball. Bumble.
Yeah, yeah. And then so
I
then
like
yeah,
that.
that's where we end up with the fumbles and the or just pure like the other team catches the ball. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because Josh had to force it because no one was open.
yeah.
I saw a statistic that the Patriots scored 10 points off of fumbles or interceptions. So if the ball had been handled better,
Yeah,
things would have been extremely different.
you're not gonna win doing that, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, should we move on to some
But
positive thoughts?
yeah, I was
Okay.
thinking too. This is kind of where I was gonna circle back to like just what else is even going on in the league right now. 'Cause we're at the end of the day, we're 4-1. So like still, we're okay. And like the other teams, it doesn't feel like we've taken it to a different level yet, like across the entire league. It's like, I don't know, maybe after this week it will be more telling, but like like watching Trevor Lawrence flop around on the field like that and they won is crazy.
Love it. I love it.
Crazy. So like let it happened and hopefully we move forward from here because
I saw oh, I saw like a edit this week of like all the crazy things that happened in the weekend in the games over the weekend. And like kind of on top of what you're saying, I saw like a guy got hit in the head with the football and it like
Oh,
bounced off his helmet and then hit the camera in the air. And then and then in another game there was like a fumble and then they were like all chasing after the ball like dogs. And then the team, I think it might have been the Buccaneers and another team.
was
And
it
I
the Titans
think
game? The Titans Buccaneers game?
yeah, I think so. And they
Yeah.
were like chasing after the ball and I think the Buccaneers fumbled it and then they ended up the other team tried to get it and then they dropped it and then the Buccaneers ended up getting a touchdown off of that.
oh my God.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Was
Yes.
it that? Yeah, I kept going like back and forth and I think it just overall this weekend it clearly showed that we're not everyone is
Ugly football. Ugly.
Well, did you guys hear anything about I don't think I think I was mistaken when I said that was the Titans game. The Bucks didn't play the Titans last weekend, but the Titans game was also crazy. Did you guys hear anything about that?
I think some of those might have been the same video that I was watching.
I
That's why
took a buff
the
I
team.
took a football hiatus this week. I'm
The
just kidding.
Titans, the Titans were down like literally I think like 21-0. Like they were gonna lose. And then there was some crazy like like five freak plays in a row and the Titans ended up winning 22-21 against the Cardinals. Like and the Titans are ass. The Titans are so bad. Um and I was talking to like because I'm in Tennessee, obviously I was talking to some Titans fans this week and they were all like, "Yeah, we turned the game off. Like we figured there was no use watching it." And then all of a sudden you hear on the radio that there's 9 minutes left and the Titans are on the comeback. Like I think it's just such a it's such an it was an interesting week for football. But I think I don't know if I would say that that constitutes that like all the teams are bad. I think that that means that people are playing scrappy. I mean, obviously there's mistakes being made, but I think that it kind of speaks to the any given Sunday mentality of things could change so quickly, especially when so many teams are have the same record. So many teams have the same record that you would never think would have the same record.
What else? What was good?
I gotta say, I love taking notes this week on my phone because looking back now, I have no idea what any of these actually mean. But I put like, I put emojis next to some of them, and it just makes it funnier because I have interceptions with the emoji next to it,
Because you're
It's a
sad.
and it
sad
just
emoji.
makes it funny to look back, even though it's really sad.
I think my positives this week are Defense for sure. Defense kind of lightened it up right out the gate, obviously, on the first drive was really great. And I think they were more consistently good this week than they were last week. I know that was our criticism last week was that they were consistent, but they were consistently mediocre. I think there were some mistakes, obviously, but I think on average it was a better performance this week. And then I also had a note, Allen to Kincaid when it matters. I think there was a lot of times when we really, really like a lot of third down plays, I think, or a lot of like drives that we really need to score on. And Kincaid was really reliable this week. So
I also made a note of that, that he must have been practicing after that missed catch from last season. I
Have you
noted that.
you been he just started practicing.
He just started practicing now, but hey,
Yeah. Those are you I think you hit everything that I wrote too. And or we had said it already.
yeah.
Michaela, do
I,
you have any
I
others?
also have no Diggs touchdown. That would have sent me over the edge.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. I have a lot of notes about Diggs, but I'm a lot of them have to do with kind of like off the field play. I know Diggs was also there. You were right. I think it was Abby who said that they were going to target Diggs a lot, and obviously that happened. Um, he was their first target of the game. Like the first pass that was thrown was to Diggs, and I think he didn't. I think he dropped it.
He
So I
caught
think
some other crazy ones though.
I know. He did have some good catches. But
Yeah.
that's yeah, I mean, I really hated the dialogue about like him emphasizing over and over again that Drake May was a young Josh Allen.
Yeah, that I don't know. I've heard Bills fans say similar things. Not that he is a
Really?
young Josh Allen, but that he resembles. Using that word resembles makes a big difference.
Sure.
Um, that yeah, he resembles like uh yeah, 2019 Josh Allen.
Huh.
I also think that Josh Allen made insane progress since then as far as like consistency and stuff.
Yeah.
And if he stays around where if he stays young Josh Allen, I don't think that I mean young Josh Allen was a good quarterback, but could hang with the big guys in the same way.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know. Too soon to say. And unless he comes to the Buffalo Bills and replaces Josh Allen, I don't really care. Well, that's not true. We have to play the Patriots, but still. I was gonna bring up penalties, which I guess we'd already talked about a little bit, but we had 11 penalties this week and 11 penalties against the Saints. And honestly, they were pretty legit. And
Was it really the same amount against the Saints?
yeah, I
Damn.
think so. They need to tighten that shit up. Um, and that's all I gotta say about that.
Were the penalties, it was 11 offensive penalties against the Patriots and against the Saints. It was the same exact number of offensive penalties.
I don't know about, I just wrote down po total.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like every single play there was a penalty. And I'm not even saying that they weren't fair calls. It was just like I got so sick of seeing that flag. I was like, "Oh my God, how does this keep happening?"
Yeah, I know. They didn't, that's, I mean, we've never, we've complained about penalties in the past, but like, I think that they're more legitimate now than they maybe have been in the past, and there's a lot of them, and that's something that that's honestly like coaching a little bit, I feel like.
Mm, yeah. We'll see. I hope that this is kind of a wake-up call that they need to lock in and make themselves a better team because like I was saying earlier, like giving up 10 points off fumbles and interceptions, penalties aside, is beating yourself. Like
Hmm.
point blank period. There's nothing else to say about that.
Agreed. I did write down two dumb things that Chris Collinsworth said. Um, one was we're in the middle of baseball playoffs, and sometimes you just gotta slide in there. But he was talking about the football game. I don't even remember who slid, but I think someone slid to end the play. And that's what he said.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Chris. What was the other one you had?
And then he goes, this was in my notes. So I don't know if this is a direct quote or if it was me, but I can't remember anything. And I think Chris said that. I remember being like, he just said that.
He just said that, and that's me right now.
But yeah, I honestly don't remember him being that like insufferable during this game.
Well, we already know he was muted on Michaela's TV, so.
Yeah,
No,
damn.
actually, I'm wrong. I did take notes. I have one that I don't have a direct quote because sometimes I do tune it out and I just hear the first part and then I'm like, what? So I have he starts talking about Josh in a play that Josh made and immediately then has to start talking about Patrick Mahomes for some stupid reason. And I
Uh,
was just rolling or like for so literally I was just like, why'd you have to do that? Like they're not playing just
Tom Brady does that a lot too. Tom Brady loves to talk about effing Patrick Mahomes.
I don't even like I don't remember what it was now, but I remember it was something like, you know, back a few years ago, that would have been Patrick Mahomes or something like that. And it's like, bruh. Then I also have I don't even remember what this one was, but I have when I was a kid in quotes, dot 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 with the eye roll emoji. I don't remember what it was, but that's what I wrote down.
Didn't care to listen
Clearly,
to his
clearly
childhood
I was
story.
irritated by it.
Maybe he ended it there. Honestly, I could get into a lot about this, but the the short of it, I think, is that a lot of times announcers just say stuff and that's the thing, people stop listening. They don't listen, but they do tune in when they hear something that they like or that it gets like repeated on social media a million times, so it gives them like credibility. But I think most of the time people are drowning out what they say.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they can't
Last
just say whatever. But when people stop and go, what did he just say?
and then and you don't want to like you don't want to rewind it. So you gotta
No.
just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock in this week. I'll have some good ones.
We don't have Chris this week, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
but I'll listen to him on
Okay.
the other games.
Mm. I also have I don't know who said this one. Um, but I just thought I was like, ooh. They said, they're talking about Stefan, of course. And he goes, when Stefan moved on from Buffalo, or Buffalo moved on for Stefan, maybe I should say. Or Buffalo moved on from Stefan, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Period.
Oh,
You know what's
That's
up.
me.
And I will say, Matt Collins did show up without shoes, guys.
I
he
also
did?
noted
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No one really talked about him. It was kind of sad.
Yeah, he was not super relevant. The Diggs conversation, I think if we're ready to wrap up on Chris Collinsworth, I think could move us into our tailgate talk about kind of more off the field happenings. I was tuned in for the game, obviously, for his like little pregame interview. And was kind of struck by him saying that he feels like he's matured a lot and has become more of a leader figure since leaving the Bills. And I that struck me because I think, like we talked about last week, he seemed like an absolute like immature diva kind of a person when he left the Bills. And so it was really like shocking to see him talking to that reporter and giving any sort of humility and kudos towards Drake May because there was the whole commentary when he left Buffalo about how Josh Allen would be nothing without him. Um,
So, buddy, you were doing drugs on a boat.
yeah. So I was interested to hear your guys' thoughts about his alleged self-proclaimed maturity.
No, that's crazy. Because, I mean, one could argue that and the drugs are not related. However, if you are an athlete, you take care of yourself and you don't do anything to jeopardize that. So to me, to call yourself mature after doing something like that is maybe he's matured since then. That's that's a fast turnaround. So his
Yeah,
therapist must be really good.
I just thought that was an interesting self kind of
That's crazy.
I
promotion.
I gotta say I do not like digs
Mhm.
um at all. And we don't have to get into it that much, but I don't think that's I think that maybe he sees it that way. This is just getting into some theories. Maybe he sees it that way and just seeing how the way he was with the Bills, it's really that he's in a role now where he can kind of be the the boss, the head guy.
Yeah.
He sees it as being a leader, but really he's just gets to be the better guy, like feeding his ego a little bit.
Yeah. He's not being overshadowed by a star player.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens because has he, I don't know, actually, he was in Houston last before the Patriots. I don't remember what him leaving there was like.
He
Was it
was
nasty?
so irrelevant on the Texans.
Yeah.
Like he had, I think, some of his worst season. Was he only with him with one season?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he did not. I did not hear about him, I feel like, at all.
Yeah,
He
'cause
was injured,
oh yeah,
wasn't he?
yes. I feel like he's consistently left teams like that, and it's like he creates this story in his head of how it is and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got
Interesting.
booed. He got booed when he entered the stadium.
Wow. That's interesting too, because when I tuned in, he was leaving that interview and the interviewer was saying like, um, like, oh, like Diggs was seen interacting with the fans before this, and there he goes. He's going to give them a little fan service now, but it's like obviously we're hearing the audio from the reporter. You don't hear the fans booing. Like
Yeah.
she was playing it out like they were excited to see him, and it sounds like maybe that was not the case. Sean McDermott had a nice long hug after the pregame interview too. Like a long hug.
Yes,
Oh.
kiss, kiss. No.
Okay. Moving on.
This week, we have a question from one of our fans.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, this fan wrote in and they asked, do you think that Buffalo would opt to not receive the ball, in order to like light up our defense right away? Meaning, like the thought process being that the defense is injured, so like let's get them out on the field right away and like get them off there and like have them starting fresh right from the beginning. The short answer to that is no.
I think it's a good thought. It's a clever way to think about that. Um, but Abby did some research and found that historically they have done that no matter the status of the defense.
Yes. The Bills, if they win the coin toss, they opt to receive. And I don't think the Bills are alone in that, is that they opt to receive the ball in the second half because what will happen is ideally you end up with the ball at the end of the first half and you have an opportunity to score, and then you have an opportunity to come out at the beginning of the second half and do it again.
Back to
And
back.
we've seen that happen before as well.
Yeah, that is
So
ideal.
that's what we do. That's how we do it.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Comment down below for a question, and you can be featured in our video next week.
nice.
Let's get into it then. Couple people who did not practice at all today, Matt Milano and TJ Sanders. I know that was Matt Milano was kind of a surprise. Um, I know at one point in the game, Abby had texted and said like, "Wait, where did Matt Milano go?" Like I feel like they didn't cover that, or at least all of us missed it when he was like
Can
active.
circle back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That text
Um, so yeah, that's
just
tough.
disappeared. And you know what? Hot take. No more Matt Milano.
That is a hot take.
He's if he's injured, we don't have him anyways.
That's
He's
true.
wasting money.
True.
I will say it's not like I don't want to see him on the field anymore, but he definitely, since he was injured, there hasn't been much since he's been back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets injured again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Sad but true. As far as limited players in practice this week, Curtis Samuel and Kincaid and Deion Dawkins were all limited. On defense, Ed Oliver, Dorian Williams, Damar Hamlin, and Taylor Rapp were all
Mm.
limited as well. Taylor Rapp for his nose.
Getting a nose job?
I was
Uh,
just gonna say that.
Maybe. Okay, King. Get your cute little pony nose.
Maybe he has a deviated septum. They had to get that fixed this week.
Hit him up.
Specifically was the week for it.
Call him
Sure.
in.
Yeah. Well, they have a long weekend, so he
Good
has
time
the
to get it
extra
done.
day for it to heal.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I think I hope Ed Oliver comes back this week. Please, Ed.
Ooh.
I think that that will help. I do.
It's really a shame because he was one of those ones, like you talked, Abby, that you heard his name right at the beginning of the season, and then he got injured and nothing. So it'd be nice
Yeah.
to see what he could do being back.
Yeah. Maxwell Hairston was doing drills and stuff today at practice. I saw too. Um, which is good. I think that he will obviously contribute. But I do think that it's um got to be conservative in the idea that a rookie coming in injured is going to make like a drastic difference in the defense. I think that that's like kind of a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Um, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about off the field this week was uh he's a currently a Buffalo celeb, if you will.
Hmm.
Brian Kemp, the man who seemingly left the stadium with the ball.
That was so funny. I also thought it was so funny that rare win for Chris Collinsworth, the joke about Matt Milano running away with the ball and having it be a catch in the end zone because the fan was wearing a Milano jersey. And then they were like, "Oh, he's still going. Oh."
I will say at the time, I was a little bit like, this is not funny right now. This is terrible, and this bit is not funny. And then looking back now, it is kind of funny, but at the time, I was like, not the time for these jokes of Matt Milano saving the day.
I
Uncle
thought
Buddy was like, "Why are they still calling it?" It's like,
they followed him all the way up until
Yes.
it was so funny.
so do you guys know what ended up happening?
No.
So he could have actually gotten in a lot of trouble for that. So they were like the security and everything was immediately on it. And so I guess he had like because they sit there like pretty often, I guess. So they have like caught balls before and stuff and they return them and they're like, "Oh, we'll get you one, we'll get you one." And he's like as a to swap and he never has gotten it. So the plan with his wife was if we get a ball, I am leaving and you will meet me in the car. Like that was their plan. So he got like up into the concourse, like in that like open space in the stadium. And he's got it like they must have handed out the whiteout towels, so he stuck it like draped his towel over it to try and be like a little inconspicuous. And he gets a call from his wife, and she was like, "You gotta bring the ball." She was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Just bring it back. They're saying that they'll give you one." And he was like, "Are they really though?" Like, so he did end up taking it back. He got a new ball. They did give him one, and he hasn't heard anything like from the Bills or the NFL. So like he's assuming he's all good. Like he wasn't banned or anything like that.
That's good.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He had, and he also didn't realize either that he was being obviously followed
Sure.
at the stadium. So if he had known that, he probably would have turned around real quick. But he didn't know he was being followed all the way upstairs on national television.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So there you have it. Before we go to this week's predictions, Michaela, did you want to do a little segment we
Yes,
call play by play?
we have a new segment this week, everyone. Um, every week we'll start to do some highlights of some good group text exchanges that we have through the game. This week what our highlight was the conversation of Matt Milano and Abby had texted, I didn't realize Matt left the game, and I said, "What?" And this was also right after the fan thing happened. And she responded with Milano. You know him? Matt Milano? And I said, "Are you talking about the fan joke?" And she said, "No, I'm talking about Matt Milano being effing injured." And I said, "Oh, I didn't see that." And that was the end. And
I don't
that was
think
my highlight this week.
I don't think it ever clicked that the guy was wearing the Matt Milano jersey, so that you would think that I was talking about him.
Well, and it was like nothing was said about the real Matt Milano leaving. So I really thought that you were like joking with us, or like you were that drunk that you thought that you were just listening to the game and you thought Matt Milano actually left the game.
Matt Milano, do you know him? Well, the real Matt Milano, please stand up.
Yeah. This this
Oh, that was
this
gross.
game was a little bit stressful, so there was not a lot of interesting text, but
Yeah, we'll
next
get going a
game.
little better. We'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
Some things we probably can't share.
Yeah.
A lot of it would have to be bleeped.
Censored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michaela
All
would have a
right.
lot of work to do in post if we shared most of the texts and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. The past is in the past. Time to talk about this week against the Falcons.
The future.
The past is in the past, but aren't we bringing back some vintage
Yeah.
uniforms this week?
Oh, that was good. Let's go.
Wait, wait.
Standing Buffalo. Those are good. I hope they
Yeah.
bring us more luck than the rivalry jerseys.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Earn your rivalry."
Burn it.
I saw I think it was Bleached by Abigail Lee or one of the like BB Boutique or something like that posted like what are we supposed to do with all this whiteout gear
Yeah.
now? Who
Yeah.
wants to buy it?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I will say I'm a little concerned about an away game. Um, Not concerned, I shouldn't say. It's just something to take into consideration. And the Falcons are coming off of a bye.
Mm,
They had the earliest bye week. Um, but I think we need to come in like pissed off
yeah,
and not let last week happen again. Um, and I hope that they were as pissed off and reminded, traumatized by the end of last season that they had the same reaction as me and they just turn it around.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I was looking at the score predictions today, and I think one of the picks was for the Falcons, one out of whatever it is, six or seven. But all of the score predictions were close, like one score games.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's gonna be a fighting week for sure. Um, I just think it's so frustrating because offense was looking so good and like we were talking about, so relaxed
Mhm.
before last week, and then last week happened, and obviously things kind of went to shit. But I'm just hopeful that they're able to get back into that rhythm and that relaxed, take a deep breath kind of state because um I think that's obviously how we've been winning games. So hopefully they're ready to keep their heads up and move on to the next one and play like they know how to play.
I think Atlanta's offense is going to run it, which is we don't have good run defense. We don't have good defense, period. But if we can stop their run early on, this is my theory. Stop the run early on, force them to throw it, and then that gets like your cornerbacks and your safeties involved, and then they, hopefully create something out of that. And then nobody gets tired and we play good defense. That's my vision. We'll see.
Hoping so.
Atlanta's defense is not a bad defense either, and they're going to try and stop the run game. Which why wouldn't they? Because they just watched the Patriots do that to us last week and it worked. So,
Yeah.
um, I think that we should try to show that we have, I hope that we have more threats in the run game and that we can handle it if the run game does get threatened. So, that's what I think. I Three things I wrote down that I would like to see is consistent offense with James Cook, explosive defense, and discipline. No penalties. Well, I can't say no, but
Or we can go
significantly
now.
less.
Yeah.
Excellent goals.
Should we do score predictions?
Sure. I mean, I'm picking the Bills, obviously.
No way.
Thinking it's gonna be one score game in the 20s. I'm gonna go
Again,
27-21.
Okay.
I was thinking 28 Bills. I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it because that's my gut.
Yeah, go with your
28
gut.
Bills, 14 Falcons.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. I'm down bad, but I'm gonna give him another shot. And I think it's gonna be Bills 31, Falcons 17.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see.
And that's what I hope.
All right.
Me too.
Time will tell. Gotta wait all the way until Monday. Gotta work all day.
Hopefully this week
Yeah.
will be better. We gotta believe. Everybody hype up Abby in the comments. She's been having a down week. Help her believe again.
Yeah. This made me feel better, guys.
Me too.
We'll see though. I could be back to crashing out Monday night. Hopefully,
Hopefully not.
hopefully not.
Hopefully we're up. Hopefully we drink lots of Fireball and we rejoice.
Oh, all right. Well, on that note, be good.
Do good.
God bless.
Go
Go Bills!
Bills!
Thank you so much for watching or listening. Tune in next week for a new episode.